Hi guys, it's me, Tom Altieri, your New Jersey mortgage guy with this week's New Jersey Mortgage Minute. And this week I want to talk to you about, rising interest rates. It's a prediction by NAR and Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. NAR is the National Association of Realtors, that we're going to be seeing rates rise in the next 4 quarters. And, what effect does that have on you? Depending on how high the rates go, minimal effect. I had a guy call me recently, and he had a little issue in the past where he had a property out of state he was living in. Then he had to move back to New Jersey, had that property rented. Tenant stopped paying, so he had the place foreclosed. Wasn't that long ago. So there are some products available today. They're not conventional financing, but there are some outside the box products where you can get a mortgage after a bankruptcy or foreclosure relatively soon. So I was telling him, what the rate looked like and what, down payment looked like. So it looked like something around 20% down, maybe a 6 to 6.5% rate. And he got like a little bit up in arms about the rate. But, 6.5% rate is like really nothing in comparison to history. When I bought a second home in 1990, I think I paid somewhere around 9.5% on a 7-year ARM. If you look at the history of interest rates in the 1970s, the average rate was close to 9%. In the 80s, when I came into the business, rates were like in the 13% rate coming down. I think somewhere around 85. They came down to maybe 10.5%, something like that. Property moved. In the 90s, the average rate was around 8%. The 2000s, we were in the 6% range. So historically, we're still at super low rates. So, it really shouldn't affect you that dramatically. So, that's just the number. It's the payment that you really have to be concerned about. Can we afford the payment? That's the most important thing. When people call me to pre-qualify for a mortgage, I don't just pre-qualify them on what they could afford. I pre-qualify them on what they feel like they can afford. So somebody might be able to afford $3,000 a month, but only want to pay $2,000. So that's really important. So I wouldn't get caught up on the interest rates going up, that dramatically. So anyway, I want to talk about, this week it's going to be Thanksgiving week, and Thanksgiving and holiday season. People become really generous that time of year, and it's just a little story. There's a story about a grandfather and a grandson walking along the beach, and the beach was littered with sand dollars. And every once in a while, the grandfather would bend down, pick one up, and toss it in the water. Finally, the little grandson, after he just picked one up and threw it in, looked at him and said, "Grandpa, why bother? There's so many of them here. Does it really make a difference?" And the grandfather looked at the grandson and said, "To that one, it does." So during the holiday season, you really can make a difference. And Thanksgiving, I know, a lot of people, donate turkeys and give stuff away and, bring stuff to the food banks. And that's really generous and kind and nice. But there's other things we can do not only in this season, but all year long. An example of that would be as if God gave you a talent, maybe you could share that talent with others, train them, teach them how to earn a living. For example, there's that saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you can feed him for a lifetime. So, if you have some kind of a talent, I don't care, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, if you can spend the time, if you're in sales and you can train somebody to be a better salesperson, whatever it takes, if you can give of yourself a little bit to make life better for other people. And then there's the, people that are starving emotionally. If you could spend some time with them, some older people that are lonely, spend some time with them. Those are other ways that you can give. I mean, again, it's nice to feed people, but it's better to feed them other ways where they could feed themselves or feed them emotionally when they need help. Anyway, and there's an example of that. There's a fellow in this area where I am who basically takes guys that get out of prison and he trains them and teaches them how to cut hair, gives them a self-esteem about themselves, let them know and learn how they can earn a living the legitimate way. So there's my spiel for today, and I wish everybody a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And again, I'm always accessible if you need me to pre-approve any of your friends or family. 732-239-1642. I'm always accessible at that number. Don't hesitate to call. New Jersey Mortgage Guy, over and out.